there for pilgrimage. People are going there to live. People are going there for business and all of that. So it's just crazy. But again, regardless of all the politics that surrounds these places, is our stream okay?
It's going to go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so regardless of what happens in all these places, you just start to wonder that what are they doing there? But people have to survive. People believe that the fact that someone didn't make it there doesn't mean that they won't. And especially in the Middle East, a lot of Nigerians have gone there under the guise of being told that they can become teachers and all of that, to teach English and any other, discipline that they are good at. And they end up being slaves and all sorts of things. We know a whole lot of stuff that is wrong. But there are also people who actually go there and thrive. You get?
They do?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. They say y'all thrive. They thrive there.
Yeah, there are people who actually go there and they do well.
Okay.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
It's not?
It's not all doom and gloom. But it's something that you probably wouldn't do and I probably wouldn't do. You get? But regardless of all of that, the major part about this is that Nigeria has moved from a country where when there are crisis, this type of crisis, it's after many things have gone wrong that you start to hear, oh, when are they going to get them out, to making proactive steps to get Nigerians out of such situations. I must say kudos to the immediate past president. It happened more under his watch. It got better, and people don't like giving the man credit for anything. I get that, but this particular one, it started, and I'm glad that this government has taken it a notch higher, and it's not just to evacuate people from Iran. They're also going to get people out of Israel.
My own news.
Get Nigerians out.
I know that. Yeah, it's the right thing for the country to get people out, their citizens out, and all that. But I'm also hoping that we get to a point where we do not have to be in those situations. We try to educate people. We actually educate ourselves not to be in those situations at all. Like, for example, like the person that I said that I kind of know, yeah? So it was someone's housekeeper, I think a 22-year-old girl. She was, she's a student of a polytechnic in Lagos, yeah? And I'm like, I'm not seeing this, your, what's it called? That she's not supposed to come today. I'm like, no, that today is the last day that she's coming. Then she comes, and I'm like, they said the last day. What's happened now? I say, I know that she's traveling next week. Nice. Where are you going? She's going to Iran. What? The funny thing is that
you
the people that employed her go, you don't even know where she was going. But they knew that, okay, like this was going to be her last day, yeah? And I was like, the kind of, when she says Iran, and everybody were like 6 or 7 in the place, everybody were like, that kind of thing. Like, Iran, what's happening there? Oh, they say that she's going to go there to be a teacher.
Teacher indeed.
Okay. They said, okay. But at that point, maybe if she was a little, what's the word now? If she was a little open before. But this was a few days to where she was traveling. It's a 21-year-old girl. A 21-year-old lady, yeah? At that point, there's nothing you can tell her that will change her mind.
No.
There was absolutely nothing you were going to tell her. She already had a ticket. She was going. So there was nothing anybody was going to say at that point that was going to change her mind. So I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's well with you. I hope that it's fine with you. I also know someone, a friend's wife, that actually was in Oman for a while. She literally almost had to run away to get to like a Nigerian embassy or Nigerian commission or something to be able to come back to Nigeria. It was
when the federal government a couple of years ago, when the Ukraine-Russia war started, and the federal government was talking about getting Nigerians out, and people were like, "Oh, come and help us, get us out." There were people who were actually.
Who didn't want to come back?
No, that's one now. The ones that wanted to go, people were like, that they will fight a war and get paid, and I'm telling you.
I remember that part. So,
and even now, there are talks of how some people in other African countries are being led to go to these places, where there's crisis. In the early 1900s, when it was the First World War and Second World War, because you were under colonial rule, you most likely didn't have a choice. The military was, taken there. If you go to Aton Cemetery, for instance, the neatest and the most organized part of that cemetery
you'll see
is dedicated to Nigerian veterans who actually fought during the Second World War, and their bodies were repatriated and everything. So that was more or less under colonial rule. But in 2023, 24, 25, things are so bad, or Africans think that things are so bad. That
you want to go and die in
They
Iran.
want to go and fight wars.
You will die like a fowl. That one I can tell you for a fact. You will die. This one is not allegedly. You will die like a fowl. Simple as short. In fact, fowl safe, because at least fowl is in his vicinity. So you will still see his family members before. He will die worse than a fowl. Just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, so I at least thank God that the federal government wants to and actually a lot of countries around the world, even China, everybody is trying to get their citizens out of Iran and Israel at the moment. Sadly, I think there was a hospital that had that was hit by Iran in Israel that a lot of people have been talking about. However, there's also a lot of casualties around in Iran as well. They're saying that it is past 600 casualties in Iran since Friday that Israel has been hitting Iran.
This war, because it's of course it's a full-blown war, because they have not deployed the ground troops does not mean it's not a war. Now they're playing with the big boys, dropping the ballistic and intercontinental ballistic missiles and all of that, and drones. They're deploying drones. But there's also a lot of propaganda on both sides. On the side of Israel, you hear people say things like, oh, they've done this, and that. And on the side of Iran, you hear them, oh, we thought that. A few days ago, a TV presenter was going off on a tangent. And just while she was live on here, the station was being attacked by Israel. And she had to run out of the studio. You could see the smoke and everything.
It's really crazy.
So this war is actually a long time coming for people who have been observing how things have been done in that region. And it's beyond all the rhetorics that you hear. There's a whole lot behind it. And I think people have started choosing sides. Sadly, I'm still going to stay on the side of humanity to say we actually don't need these wars. And who's going to look out for the innocent ones?
I think I saw a report about, I think it was an interview of former Senator Ben Bruce, where he was talking about how he's thankful that Nigeria does not have any international military bases and all that. That those are things that a lot of these countries seem to attack. That's how they easily attack other countries in a bid to hit the people they're fighting with and all that. And that he's looking like this is going to be a third world war, but that the way Nigeria is probably even going to end up being a haven for a lot of people.
Yeah, I hope so, because again, there are also elements of all those people who are also here. You know how funny we are as a people. Like, there's an election in America, and there are groups of Nigerians fighting themselves. Some are supporting Biden.
Those ones are not bright.
Kamala.
They are not bright.
And the other group are supporting Trump. Do you understand?
And then you have rallies.
We're going and we're campaigning.
Oh my God.
We're campaigning.
Oh my God.
So people say they're evangelicals. Look, don't be fooled.
Nigerians just
don't be
annoy me at
fooled.
times.
You
Like,
get?
what the hell are you doing?
So these are some of the issues that we need to take a look at and understand that Africa, to a large extent, is supposed to be, but it's a lie. Even the Second World War, the war came as close as Libya here. Tripoli, Benghazi was a war front during the Second World War.
Okay.
It was a war front.
Okay.
You don't understand. What's the business of Libya that it's actually a front? You know, it was a war. And you know how many hours it is from there to Nigeria?
It didn't reach Nigeria.
Nigerians died. Nigerians fought in that war.
We are not fighting. We are not under colonial rule again.
Okay. I will allow you to have your heads in the clouds.
I'm
and
not
just
having my head in the clouds.
You know, we're completely
let everybody
immune.
just day their day.
As at that time, there was no internet. There were not enough news services. And
anyway,
Nigeria got involved one way or the other, fighting on the side of the allied forces. Now, the way things are being realigned, the country with the most nuclear armament is Russia. And everybody knows that Russia is on the side of one particular person. The country that has the next or closest to it is America. And we know that they're on the side of another person. But China, North Korea, they're all aligning behind somebody. While the UK, France, Germany are aligned behind somebody. At the end of the day, no matter how unaligned Nigeria is, you just know that there are some elements that will just come and misbehave. That's
just did their day at this point. Anyway, moving on from that quickly, and let's go on to the courts. There are quite a number of gist from the courts. First things first, the federal government today arraigned Senator Natasha Akpoti. Wait, though, that's how that auntie is going to do 6 months suspension.
At this rate, the way things are
going, that 6 months is going to be complete. Because nobody's talking about that anymore. Now, you know, she was arraigned for alleged defamation against the Senate president, against the former governor of Kogi State. However, I think that he was 50 yesterday. I'm like, oh, so this man is really that young.
He is.
He's actually a former governor and he's just 50.
And he's done 8 years already.
Oh, wow.
And his predecessor has done 2 years.
Wow.
So that's 10 years. Man became a governor at 40. More or less like
I think it was 39. Actually the youngest
It was 39 going on 40.
Youngest governor.
Remember that he became a governor in May.
Yeah, I think that was when
it was 39.
the person that was supposed to be governor died. That was how he became governor.
He was a governor at 39.
That is mad.
Became 40.
I think he was one that was supposed to be deputy, yeah? And then the person died a few days to inauguration or something. That's some mad numbers, man. Dolupo, how many years do you have left to become governor? Okay. We are getting there. Anyway, so the federal government arraigned Senator Natasha Akpoti in court today. It was in court in Abuja today. Quite a number of people were there to support the senator. In fact, interesting, I saw 1 or 2 people that I thought in my head were supposed to be activists. I'm like, oh, we're now on the side of politicians now. Oh, didn't know that. Anyway, she had pleaded guilty, and the court has granted her bail of 15
guilty
million. She pleaded not guilty. Sorry. My bad. Please, I say she pleaded not guilty, and the court granted her bail of 50 million naira.
Yeah, interesting development there in the courts. The case had been postponed, adjourned to today because it was last week and she was nowhere to be found. I think she was abroad or something. But she came through today, you know, massive support from her husband. She had a convoy. I saw the video when they pulled up. And she had
Ezekwesili. Let's know what we are doing.
She had Obi Ezekwesili. Auntie Obi was there. She had some other people that I've seen on social media. You know.
Yeah, I think Aisha Yusufu was there as well.
There's this guy that used to do content that used to talk about states and everything. Very intelligent guy. But I think he wants to become an activist now. He was there too.
I was shocked. I'm like, oh, wow. I thought that it was just...
No, man wants to be an activist now.
And then, okay, so explain to me how you're an activist and you are... Because it's only in Nigeria that you see you're supposed to be an activist. And then you're supposedly aligning with a politician. Anything, right or wrong?
You see, that's the mistake that a lot of people make.
That's the part I don't get. Like
I said it a lot
in my book. So
times.
If you're a politician, even if you're in my family, I'm sorry. What's your politician? You're all in the same boat. I'm sorry. You're all in the same boat.
But you know, so they have samples now. They have mentors and they have people to look up to. They have role models. I said it more than a million times. at the bar here and even in other fora that for as long as the lines are blurred, I personally won't take you serious. I won't take you for what you say you are. Because how can you be an activist today, a journalist tomorrow, and a politician the third day? Do you understand? You can't. A politician is meant to politic. So how can someone who is already, skilled in a certain way come and say he's fighting? You're not. It's not possible. And that's what you see now. You see the way it's easy for politicians to realign. One moment they're in this party, the next moment they are, especially in Nigeria. So how can you say you're all of that and you're still an activist?
No,
I think we don't have activists in the mode of Ganifa and me anymore. And Ganitu eventually became a politician. Femi Falana became a politician. At least they all contested.
They all wanted to be governor.
So at some point you start to wonder, like, even president say, president ni Daddy Walofungwa. So you start to wonder.
Evil president Wagogon Singh. Remember that? Okay, no, the master has in his defense. When you think about it, he started as a politician, then he moved to an activist, Abi. Then came back as politician.
Yes, sir. That's what it is.
So last, what we're saying in Nigeria is that once you carry a placard of activism, your end game is politics.
At the end of the day, a lot of people even do it knowing that they're actually going to move into politics.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So let's just know, once you start activism, we know that that's your end game. So there's no.
You're just trying to do what we used to call rungu to the answer.
You are trying to
the
be
answer.
First.
The answer is 41.
It makes sense.
But you will not show working. Just it's 41.
We get it. that I understand. If that's the plan, you post plan. Shout out to
that's the game.
It's working. Anyway, still at the court, the federal government has now closed their case in the Nnamdi Kanu trial. They are the prosecution. So officially the prosecution has closed their case. They did a lot over the weeks after there was back and forth with judge or no judge. Then there was a lot of evidence from the DSS, from his radio recordings to his video recordings, to a lot of things that was alleged that he said or did over time. So it's looking like now they have closed the case. Now we want to see. I think we'll now be looking forward to what the defense has to say on that matter. Even though a lot of people are still clamoring for his release, and at this point, anytime I see those things, I'm like, okay, there is already a case in court. Are we going? Is the federal government just going to come up and tell you that they're withdrawing the case? Because if that's what the plan is going to be?
Well, it's actually good that after all the time that he has spent in detention without case, he's finally having his day in court. You get it's actually good because justice delayed, they say, is justice denied. And no matter the kind of allegations that anybody has leveled against them, they actually deserve the right to defend themselves in
Everybody
court.
deserves that right.
So I'm just looking for the angle of defense that he's going to take. I want to see the counter,
No, you might say that those videos
arguments.
Are AIO.
Let's see how.
Because let's be honest, we all saw some of those videos.
Yeah, some of them live too.
Around 2020. Yeah, I remember that. What's it called time? That NSAS protest and all that. We're all here. Yeah, live and direct. But anyway, it's very interesting to see their defense.
Interesting times, for the IPOB movement, because this is a lot of people refer to him as the supreme leader and all of that. So let's see how the case pans out. But at least now he gets a chance to really speak his mind, and I hope that it will allow his lawyers to do their job. I hope he's not going to come out and say he wants to, spearhead this case by himself or speak for himself. I think
maybe he should now.
No, I think he needs professional representation, and he has some good lawyers.
At times you might really just want to, talk about.
He can be led. He can be led. No, you get. He can be led, but I don't think it should be something that he's fighting the case for himself. But it's all good, and now all the clamoring I think we'll stop because this is done to defend himself in court.
Yup. Anyway, there's some money that is said to have been shared. About 1.6 trillion naira is said to be shared for me in the FAAC revenue. It's a lot of money.
I'm gonna say this now, and the whole essence of doing these things is also to be able to acknowledge the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Is it coincidental
that
the government is getting more money since subsidy was removed?
No, it's not coincidental. We know that it's subsidy
since they stopped defending the dollar.
Oh, we know now. We know.
You see now that governors now have a lot of projects to commission. A lot of things are working. There's a lot of capital, projects being executed. I've not heard of any government worker complain about salaries being owed in the last 2 years.
Yeah, but some people are still paying 30,000 naira minimum wage.
That's a different story. But I've not heard of anybody. It used to be a thing. It used to be a part of the news because workers would always complain that they've not received salaries for months. Some governors were even paying half salaries. Yeah, it was a thing in some states. You get.
So my own issue is still that.
So this,
I will still go back to
FAAC allocations.
They are still getting paid a lot more now, and some people are still getting paid the old minimum wage. I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. Even if you're not talking about it. And then this is my problem with a body like NLC. Where you're supposed to fight, you will not fight. Fights that make sense. There is now a law that backs it up. So you cannot say the ones that you are fighting for. No, but you'll be fighting for very irrelevant things. Do you fight for the welfare of your workers? Do you fight for health insurance? Do you fight for transport schemes? Do you transfer housing schemes for them? No.
When you talk about the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress and the new one, the third one, I can't remember its name now. When you talk about all those bodies, they're national bodies, right? Mm-hmm. Now we have specific states. And because of certain situations in the past, you've seen them shut down the whole country because of something happening in one state.
Yeah.
But now that they're not really concerned, the state chapters of these bodies, what are they doing? They have state chapters. Your workers are the ones actually feeling the pinch the most. Mm-hmm. You get. So how is it that even the minimum wage that everybody agrees is not enough, but at least it was just some kind of improvement on what it used to be, from 30,000 to 70 or 75 and
70,
80
yeah.
In some states. You get. In some states, they more or less treble.
Yeah, some people are paying as much as 85,000.
Yeah, you get. So that's almost times 3 or times 2, and there's times 1.
That's more than times 2. At least the regular minimum wage is more than twice your salary.
Your old salary.
So that's what I'm saying.
So again, that's why I'm saying that why can't they be the ones to spearhead this battle?
So the states and the federal, but no, they'll be until something very relevant pops up, and then when is now what's it called? NEPA bill, sorry. Band A or Band C, they'll start opening teeth. The one that affects the
Band A also affects everybody.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying the one that there is literally
the immediate
laws that you need to react to immediately. They don't. It's only when it's time to fight the federal government. And I'm not saying the federal government is perfect. I'm just saying that the one that the federal government finally did that you now need to implement in all states, no. We will not see them there. Anyway, talking about money, since we are on this matter of money, Senate has raised the alarm over a 200 trillion naira unaccounted funds in NNPC coffers. Now, let me put a bit of context to 200 trillion naira. In the month of May, the whole country, the whole of Nigeria, in the whole context, sorry, careful, that was me. In the whole of Nigeria, federal government, state government, local government shared 1.6 trillion naira. Now, Senate is saying only NNPC alone has unaccounted about almost 200 times that amount. You are quiet. You are quiet.
If the federal government of Nigeria, alongside the state and local government, are sharing 1.6 trillion, how many 1.6 trillions will you get from 200 trillion?
At least you are looking at 160 or 170 times that.
That's how many years of sharing 1.6 per month?
So they're saying that between 2017 and 2023.
Yeah.
So that took like 6 years.
Yeah, I'm not talking about how
Oh
long
no,
I'm talking about how long 200 trillion will serve Nigeria.
So if you calculate it
Federal
as 12 months in a year, let's say about, if we do the 1 point, maybe like 15-16 trillion in a year, yeah?
Yeah.
And 200, we are going to 200.
Yeah. Do you get
that's what I'm saying. That's why I put it in that context. Like, if the whole country is sharing that tiny amount of, not that 1.something trillion is tiny, because so, as I am now, if I'm 1.6 trillion, I will be doing booba from the moon. Shout out to my people from the moon. 200
trillion naira upped and went away
in 6 years,
kind of over a period of 6 years, under a government that its mantra was anti-corruption.
But can I say something though?
Yes, please.
Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the former CBN governor, who was CBN governor at this time, now I'm not trying to exonerate NNPC because it's NNPC, but we know that I think most of NNPC's money is in CBN. All those things, and then the CBN, the NNPC governor, or the NNPC, whatever it is, at that point in time, should there be now because now you are now beginning to maybe look at where all the monies for the 700 something duplexes came from, where the something for the,
I'm waiting for your punchline.
100. No, I'm just saying that some of these monies might have been monies. Maybe they should check the CBN. It might have been kept in the CBN and it's part of the one that they used to.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
They heard you, but it's funny how the Senate is probing something. The fact that they might come out to say 200 trillion is not missing, they might come out to justify its disappearance. But the fact that there is a discussion around that, there should be at least 500 people in prison as we speak.
So what the Senate, basically, what the panel was saying was that they said that there were legal and auditing fees that were in contradiction with receivables. So according to them, legal fees were accrued without any explanation or documentation regarding legal services rendered. Auditors' fees as well. No clear justification, I say you used all that. How is legal and auditing fees the reason? Are those things not the ones that should catch discrepancies?
All these ones that are
the ones that
does that explain the disappearance of 200 trillion naira?
I'm even saying that what the Senate is basically saying that all they just tag this money is either legal fees or auditors' fees. Now, all this money, I'm even now taking it up a notch.
Is it too late to read law?
I'm even now taking it up a notch that is it not the legal side or the auditing side that should find if there are discrepancies? Now, is the so-called legal and auditors that are being used for these so-called discrepancies?
Careful.
Sorry.
Well, after all said and done, everything she said, I'm just asking, how many people have been arrested? 200 trillion. When we were little, we used to think that billion was something that we could not wrap our head around. Now, billion is actually regular. Trillion. Trillions. 200 trillion.
Yeah. That's what let's put it.
Please, how much is Dangote's money in naira again?
Do you get? How much go? It's kind of thing I tell you that. How much is your money? You buy everything that you have.
200 trillion. I can buy a country. Just buy one country.
How much does... See, can't you buy Nigeria?
Please, there are people of Togo.
Let's be honest.
Togo and Benin.
You know,
And
with
Cameroon.
20 trillion, you will buy Nigeria for a year. You say, okay, this is the money that you people use, just the tithe.
Times 2.
This is the money that you people use to spend a year. Please
Times
spend
2.
it. Stop what you are doing. Stop your drama. You people are stressing me for
Just
1 year.
open all the bars and
You are
all
stressing
the,
me for 1 year.
all the schools and hospitals for everybody. Just go and
Shebi,
take care
you
of
spend
yourself.
1 point something trillion in a year. I will give you 20 trillion. Just stop. You are stressing.
200 trillion
stressing
is a
me.
lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
We shouldn't be having this kind of discussion. 200 trillion NNPC. I don't want. Look,
I will be in the moon.
But by
I
now-
will be in the moon. Boomba, I will do Boomba.
You
in
know
the
why-
moon.
you know why-
can be in the studio. I will see you in the moon. I say,
bye bye,
shout
bye
out to
bye,
you.
bye to your moon walk.
And I'm not going to be in you people's level. Like, do you know what 200 trillion is?
So how come nobody has been arrested? How come nobody has been locked up? Oh wow.
It's better not to think about it because when you think of the enormous amount of 200 trillion, your mind just, and in fact, let me be honest, I was not very correct. The Senate, according to the Senate, is actually over 200 million. It's about 210 trillion.
That 10 trillion is for what again?
Me.
Oh wow.
It's for me. Anyway, this security.
Be rest assured, guys, that this is one story that we are going to stay on top of, because it really doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
How, the NNPC, and the sad part is they are not even become independent then. They were an arm of government. They are not become NNPCL that they are today.
Yeah.
And again, how is it possible that all these people are free?
Anyway, moving on from that, the Securities and Exchange Commission has now come to plead with Nigerians again. Apparently, you know the way what's this thing called? Not MMM. This last one, CBEX, only became very widely popular until when people started carrying. There are quite a number of them around.
There are plenty now. Ponzi schemes.
I don't know if people are looking for quick money like this. Anyway,
from the beginning of
they
time.
have come to tell you again, to warn you Nigerians, that there is another one called ZugaCoin and Samzuga GPT. And they say that they are meme coins that stops putting your money in them. That is a scam.
A lot of the so-called meme coins and all these coins that people have created have actually been proven to be fake. And what they've done is that the people promoting it will look for a popular person and tell the person, tweet about this coin from your Twitter or your Facebook or your whatever. Create awareness about it. A few days after, you can come out and tell people that your account was hacked or whatever, and we'll pay you X amount. But by that time,
people are already putting their money, so they just remove.
Yeah. And sadly,
That's
one
mad,
or two celebrities actually did this in Nigeria and outside. So, man, it's really sad. Please, guys, I beg of you, to be honest, I know that we're all looking for this money. Everybody wants to make the money. You want to do this and that. But please be careful. Like, it's your hard-earned money.
So what the SEC is telling us right now is that one of the first
government bonds.
One of the first things that you should look out for is, do they have, like, you could actually Google and check if they have proper offices. Do they have certificate, CAC, SEC clearance, that if you want to buy shares in any company that does not have those things, then it's better safe than sorry.
And the stock market has been doing very well in the last couple of months. Please, guys, if you have to invest your funds, invest in entities that you can verify. I'm begging you guys. It's really important that we spread this word. People are losing their funds. People are losing
their hard-earned money,
and a lot of people, it challenges their mental health. And people have had to, do all sorts of things.
Anyway, so let's do a bit of politics. Let's go into a bit of politics as we go now. And first things first, INEC. INEC is not playing with anybody now. Maybe they finally heard us at And
do your job.
It's something that we say a lot at the bar, that a lot of issues that go to the court probably would not have gone to the court if INEC they've done their job as at when due. And one of it is that apparently a lot of politicians have come out to say that INEC is stopping them from registering new party like the coalition party and all that. One of it is the former governor of Rivers State, Amechi, had actually alleged that INEC is stopping them. A few other people have alleged that INEC is stopping them. Now, INEC has now officially come to say that no, that registering a political party, in fact, there are quite a number of, I think they said that since 2017 or something, INEC has not allowed anybody register new party and all that. Yeah. They're now saying that it is not about political parties. Registering a party is not just an issue with the Electoral Act. It is in the Nigerian Constitution.
Okay.
It's a constitutional thing, and it has to follow the Constitution.
All right.
So, if you do not complete all your requirements, they're not going to register you.
Okay. Look, there's so many parties that actually still exist that they're virtually just on paper. And I know that a lot of things that politicians have done, especially when they're looking for a platform, is to take over some of those type of parties. If they're not going to allow you to register a new party, maybe that's what you should do, because if you feel strongly about what you're bringing to the table, for instance, the former governor of Rivers State, former Minister of Transportation, former House of Assembly member H.E. Rotimi Amechi, I think there are parties that he can actually negotiate with and take over, to actualize his dream of rescuing Nigeria, like he's been talking about, taking power from the incumbent APC led by the president, Bola Tinubu. So, again, I'm happy that INEC is even stricter now, because there was actually a time when government used to give those parties money. And you would notice that some people didn't bother. All they did was just register a party.
There's one person there, when I was in Ibadan, that one, I think the man is late now, God forgive me. But I think that man is because of money. He just used to collect. It's because of INEC money. That's why. Because his campaign did not pass Sola. His campaign did not pass Sola, but he said he wants to be president. I think he's collect. And did I say he's a pastor? Let me just keep quiet before I say what I'm not supposed to say. Anyway, so I think that at this point, I don't think that if you do the right thing, I don't think basically INEC will have an issue. And looking at it, the application process is not that difficult, even though I think that some things are ridiculous. They said there's an application form that is available on the INEC website. You get there's an administrative non-refundable 1 million naira. INEC, wahoo. Then you have a party name, a proposed party name, applicants' details, their signatures, their addresses, the chairman and secretary, draft constitution and manifesto, 50 copies. Wow. Yeah. Are we doing is it a project? Is it a university project? 50 copies. What do you want to do with 50 copies?
I was once involved in the process of registering a party.
But what do you want to do with? Do you have space to keep 50 copies? In APC, do you have 50 copies of their APC's manifesto? Do you? You have APC of PDP's manifesto.
Okay, I was once involved in helping someone set up a party. They were going to register a party, and I worked as a vendor, helping them get their prints ready. The party manifesto and everything, and we had to walk through the night because there was a deadline. I remember very well. The party's name starts with a K, and they had an office in Ikoyi. It was very interesting. It was
so there's a national and state executive committees, national executive committees minutes, logo and symbol, and quite a number of things. It's something.
But look, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, what we're praying for as a country is that, regardless of the top parties and the big ones, there are more Nigerians that are not involved than there are Nigerians who are involved. So if you really don't like what you see or hear, if you don't like how governance is being done, I think you need to get more active. Help us help ourselves. How do we have 96 million registered voters and only 8.7 or 8.9 people elect a president?
See,
and the other candidates are 6.3, 6.9.
Shout out to INEC.
So collectively, we have less than 40 million people voting. If there's anything called voter apathy, Nigeria is a clear example of what it is. You look at countries like India where they have more voters than Nigeria has registered than Nigeria's population.
Yeah, it's crazy though. But I think that INEC should come down. See that list there. But if you want to register party too, follow their guideline. If not, let's be going. Anyway, INEC is, like I said, INEC is on a roll, as they also announced yesterday that they had rejected PDP's NEC meeting notice. So according to them, like again, they had said that these things are a constitutional issue. It's not just INEC.
Yeah, because again, if they don't do it now, and they look the other way or they don't put their foot down, someone emerges through that flawed system. The opposition can go to court. A party member can go to court.
So
according and it nullifies anything that they've done.
According to them, they're saying that PDP's notice of a National Executive Council meeting was signed by the acting chairman. However,
no secretary.
That is supposed to be signed by a chairman and a secretary, and there was no signature of secretary there. So it's null and void.
This is where Yosan Wike comes to play. I remember clearly during one of his recent media parleys where he was talking about the forthcoming local government elections in Abuja, and how the PDP candidate, had approached him and he said, "Who's going to sign your form?" There's actually a fundamental flaw that the PDP needs to fix ASAP. So beyond all the rhetoric, beyond all the noise and the hula baloo, you actually need to sort out the issue of your national secretary. That seems to be the key to everything. And that is why some people will find it easier to go to a more stable party.
I'm talking about moving to a more stable party. A particular person that was seen live and direct in the house of someone that was evicted from the APC, that is the person of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, who seems to be part of the new coalition, that was seen, welcomed, and looked like he was going to be a part of this coalition, has now officially defected to the APC.
Is it official? Is it official?
So yes.
There's talk of him going, but is it official?
I think it's official.
All right.
Of the former vice president
Nnamdi Sambo.
Yeah.
So it's funny how I watched that video over and over again, and in the video you see H.E. Abubakar Atiku with Nnamdi Sambo going to meet with Aregbesola. And the thing about it is that the songs that the band was playing showed clearly that for the people who think that there's some kind of reconciliation, it's never going to happen.
Oh, I don't think it's happening.
They were saying, 2027, Tinubu is gone and done with and everything. And I'm like, yeah, this is politics. So politics.
Apparently, the man has just released a statement and saying that he's actually not going to the he's not going to the APC. Yeah. I doesn't know where that story came from.
That's what I'm saying. Do you understand? I was saying that, is it official? Because a lot of people saw him actually take a picture with Governor Uba Sani, who is the leader of the APC in Kaduna State. And a lot of assumptions were made. And, he is actually extremely close to H.E. Abubakar Atiku. You get, it was there. And that's why I keep telling people at times, like, nah, slow down, calm down. And yeah, it's still all politics at the end of the day. And the wave, the APC seems to be like on a roll. They really want to And the truth is, they can't stop people from joining them. That's the truth. Constitutionally, you cannot stop anybody from joining, but you can kick them out though if they break the rules of the party. So Alhaji Nnamdi Kanu has been very quiet until that video I saw of him, in a meeting with.
It's from Kaduna,
yeah. Yeah, it's his zone. H.E. Ralph Aregbesola and H.E. Abubakar Atiku. Because I keep using H.E. because I like to respect them being, former governors and former vice presidents and all of that.
It's okay. Anyway, Nans have also now interestingly backed Governor Soludo's re-election. And in my head, I'm like, why does everything have to do with politics? Why does every association, the bottom line is politics?
Man is a political animal. Have you heard that before? It's so cliche, right? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but man is a political animal. You see it now in church, there's politics. In the family, there's politics.
I get it. I'm just saying that. Because you go to church. Not all churches though, but you go to church, the pastor is telling you, this person is going to be governor, this person is going to be, you go to this, there's somebody.
Because man is a political
what are we doing?
Animal. Man is a political animal. That's the truth, isn't it? Guys, you understand? A big shout out to everybody that's watching us and listening to us. Please subscribe to our channel and like and share our video and leave a comment, Criticize, praise, whatever. We're fine with that, Speak your truth. And as it stands, man is a political animal, and the National Association of Nigerian Students have taken a side. However, I saw them too the other day, more or less endorsing the president and all of that. We get that too. I'm going to say shout out to the president, because since he became president, we've not had a single strike, no ASU strike. Yeah, so I get that. But maybe because I grew up at a time where Nance was always fighting government. You understand? So I'm finding it hard to wrap my head around how Nance is now so political to the point where they're endorsing governors, endorsing presidents.
I can't be coming down. It's better you not say anything than all of a sudden you're endorsing governor. I don't know. Let's stop it. Let's stop it.
Maybe we're stuck in the past. Maybe this is the new reality. Maybe this is the way forward. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. Does anybody have a say on this?
These associations talk about welfare of students and all that. Anything that does not have, please. Okay, you're saying now that the governor does the project. He does a lot of roads. Seriously.
But it is what it is at the end of the day, though. So
anyway. Quickly before we go, Lagos State police have now come out to say that remember the issue of Pastor Paul Adefarasin, and they're saying that yes, that the pastor erred because he pointed a stun gun at another individual. In fact, they're saying to an extent that it's even a crime, even if it's wood.
Yeah.
That it's a threat to another person. And I get that angle, but I have a question though.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they call the person or something. People that just take videos of you and all that. So I'm like, you're in Lagos. Everybody knows Lagos here. And then you're in maybe traffic and you see someone in your rearview mirror, maybe running after your vehicle.
Yep.
I don't know you. What's the first thing that'll come to your mind?
I don't know.
I'm not saying anybody should own a stunt gun. And I'm not saying what Pastor Adefarasin did was right. But I'm like, let's look at it from ourselves. Like, why the hell? Because at times you just see somebody, even sometimes the person just comes to beg and all that. You're already at a defensive. Do you understand? So I'm like, okay, these people that run out of you, you say, you just want to make a video. Some people, why? You say, oh, it's paparazzi. Okay. Some people have gotten shot for that.
Yeah, but let's also be honest with ourselves. If you watch that video, the pastor also had some armed guards driving behind him. He wasn't alone. He wasn't all by himself. To be very honest with you, I can sit here and analyze because I wasn't the one in the hot seat. But I think it was a moment of weakness for him. I think he became too vested in what he had. Because if he didn't have that stun gun, he probably wouldn't have pulled that stunt. And that's one thing about owning those things.
Yeah.
That's one thing about, I have pepper spray. I have tasers and stuff. Because you start to believe in those things.
So is the police now telling us that we shouldn't own those things?
Yes, there are things that you're not allowed to own by law. That is the truth. Now, the thing is that
So I can't own a pepper spray?
There are things that you're not allowed to own by law.
Oh.
Let's look into it.
Go.
So that we err on the side of caution. But I think that he let his guard down. And I think he let himself down too. And if he was going to be honest with himself, if Pastor Adefarash is going to be honest with himself, if we look back and say, I could have just driven off. So what was the essence of your armed guards that were driving behind you? The guy didn't have anything to stop your car. You really didn't have to wind down. You really didn't have to park. And you didn't have to flash. Because we call it flashing, like you flash like, hey, don't mess with me. If you mess with me, I'm going to take you down. It wasn't necessary. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're trying to talk about how people want to protect themselves and everything. There was no traffic. There was no car holding his car back. He could have driven off. You know,
okay.
I'm not going to lie. We all get angry. We all get crazy at times. But there are also times when the best thing to do is just to move on.
Okay, moving on from that, let's just quickly breeze through before we're almost out of time. An extremely dangerous hurricane Erick is set to be on the coast of Mexico's Pacific. It's kind of, we hope that it doesn't get, by the time it probably gets to Mexico itself, it doesn't have as much. But according to reports, it's gaining some momentum. What our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Mexico.
It's scary for me, especially when you have a lot of family in Texas and you know the proximity of Texas to Mexico. And you know at times how these hurricanes can actually just chart their own course. And when they make land like this, more
it just goes
devastating
off.
and all
it
of
goes
that.
Off. It's very, very funny. Moving on from that, the U.S. has resumed student visa processing. However, there's a new social media screening requirement. What they're saying now is okay to register, but that you cannot have your social media private because they're going to be looking.
Yeah. We all know how important it is now that people's views, a lot of people, growing up, our diaries were hidden. Mm-hmm. You know, dear diary, Dolupo said this to me today. This is what I did.
Excuse you.
I just looked at
why
her.
Why does he have to be? Why is there?
Please, don't disturb me. Don't disturb my flow. We know you are Dolupo. I'm just giving an example.
Don't use my name.
Dear diary, why did Dolupo say I shouldn't use her name? It's just a show. And, you know, that's what it was. But now, hey, Mugbe, everybody's diary is social media. People go to the loo and say, I went to the loo.
The color of my poo is
there was no tissue. We go on about these things. We have become a generation that doesn't hold anything back. Mm-hmm. And employers have found out how useful it is to check your social media.
You know people now.
So you think visa screening officials and immigration people don't think it's important? It's important for them. Look at some of these serial killers and all these other criminals. They go check their social media and you find out that there were hints there all along.
There were a lot of things
there.
Happen.
So right now, they're saying, okay, because they also don't want to admit certain types of people. That if you've been maybe propagating some kind of violence on your social media and you now want to go as innocent, I just want to travel to this country.
Working. They tell you they don't want you in their country.
And that's why people have burner accounts.
Anyway, moving on from that quickly, people, just so you know, they trace people's IP addresses.
They know your burner too.
Just so you know. Anyway, finally, before we go, the Professional Football Association has now announced the 6 top finalists for the 2025 Young Player of the Year award, which this is actually one of the prestigious awards a lot of people have been looking for the English Premier League. However, this is a very interesting shortlist this year. In the past 2-3 years, you could almost call it. But this actually has a very interesting list. And the 6 people on this list has Liam Delap of Ipswich. There's Dean Hewson from Bournemouth, Miloš Kerkez from Bournemouth as well, Miles Lewis Kelly from Arsenal, Ethan Nwaneri from Arsenal, and Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa.
If I'm going to vote, I'll pick my namesake, Morgan Rogers. I think it's been phenomenal. And on that list also, I will take Ethan Nwaneri. You get. In that order, I will take Morgan Rogers, Ethan Nwaneri, and Lewis Kelly. To be honest,
Lewis Kelly has done amazing.
For me, those are my top 3. To me, I'm not like Leantilla. I'm like,
Y'all got relegated.
Last. I think brother is overrated already, man.
Anyway, on that note, that is
Club World Cup, nothing, no transfers.
We're kind of like almost out of time, but you want to say just go like, yeah, we are actually. Like, always.
Real Madrid, what happened now? That team is from Saudi Arabia.
Meaning, what's that supposed to mean?
What happened?
What's that supposed to mean?
The Saudi team played very well.
But it's safe to say that Real Madrid is really going through. They're still going through it.
New coach.
They still have the same players.
Well, the Saudi Arabia team had a new coach too. Inzaghi is new.
Anyway, Ibo, we'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, follow, and
subscribe.
Leave a comment. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.
Peace.